Welcome to True Crime with Strategic Eyes.
Strategic back again. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of True Crime with Strategic. Hope you guys are having a great morning, man. I'm so happy to share this story with you guys. This one's really sad, man. And this one is when keeping it real goes wrong. Just like that old sketch that what Dave Chappelle used to do when keeping it real goes wrong. This is a similar case of when keeping it real goes wrong. This father of four who went out to chase down his daughter who allegedly was kidnapped. I think that's kind of subjective. I think that's more like they're kind of like trying to make the situation more than what it was to justify the father's actions. This father ended up destroying two families with his actions. But some of you guys are going to look at this case and you're going to have empathy for that father. But I'm going to tell you why you should not have empathy for that father. And believe me, I'm a father and I love my children and I do anything for my children. Even if it meant taking somebody's life justifiably, I do what I have to do for my kids. But this father, people are letting this fact escape them that the father was extremely reckless. And we're going to see why. I'm going to explain to you why. Don't just read the headline of this case and say, oh, it's a tragedy, but I totally understand where the father is coming from. Don't do that. The truth is in the details. Remember, the minutiae is where you find the truth, people. The truth is in the details. This father should spend the rest of his life, if not a significant portion of his life, in jail. Because when you take these kind of actions, you're taking a risk. You're taking a gamble. And if you're right, well, maybe you're a hero if you're right. But if you're wrong, you have to pay. You have to pay. Now, this is coming out of Houston. I'm going to let it play, and we're going to get deep down into this one. Let's do it.
An innocent man shot and killed after a father allegedly mistakes him for his daughter's kidnapper. Johnathan Mata is charged with murder after surveillance video showed him firing the bullets that killed 24-year-old Desmond Butler. It happened on Christmas Day near a gas station on the West Beltway South. KPRC2 News reporter Corley Peel joins us live from where the tragedy happened with reaction from Butler's family and Mata's attorney.
All right, so let me pull this back real quick. I want to just bring it away at 23-second mark. We'll get us back over there, right? So they have a 19-year-old daughter who's in an abusive relationship. The 19-year-old calls her parents and says, hey, mom, dad, my boyfriend's abusing me. They speak to her and the boyfriend agrees to meet them at this gas station. Now, I think that they had similar cars, but they weren't that similar. And so now the boyfriend and the girlfriend is, I believe, in this car right here. I'm pointing. You guys can't even see where I'm pointing. I'm sorry. I'll use my pointer here. They're at this car right here, this black car that's parked at the pump. At the same time, the victim, Desmond, I believe his name is Desmond. Desmond, let me just make sure I got his name correctly because I want to make sure I say his name. Yup, Desmond Butler. At the same time, Desmond Butler and his girlfriend or female passenger, I'm not sure if they were in a relationship, but he had a female passenger in his car. They just pull around. They didn't stop at a pump like what was agreed upon. They just pulled around. The mother of the female, or the daughter rather, who was with the boyfriend in this black car that's back here, this one back here, the mother thinks that this is her daughter in the passenger side of Desmond's car. So she then believes that this is her daughter and her abusive boyfriend. The mother then runs after the car and tries to open the back door. When they realize that somebody's trying to break into the car, now me, I'm a cop, I'm a retard, I would have stopped because I would have seen if this lady needed help. But I don't know what she was screaming. She could have been screaming, give me my effing daughter or something. And then you like, oh, you know your daughter not in here. We out of here. But if a woman runs up to my car, I'm going to stop because I want to make sure she's okay. But I'm crazy and I always am armed. It is what it is, right? But regardless of what happened, we're not there. We have no audio. Maybe she was saying, give me my daughter or stop the effing car, whatever. Who knows? All they see is a crazy person trying to get into their car. All Desmond and his female companion sees is a crazy lady running up to the car, pulling on the door. So they do what most reasonable people who aren't officers would do. They pull off. Well, after that, the father does what we know that he does. On a crowded, busy street, he shoots into the car. The car is not even close by. This guy, I think he luckily, not by luck, but like by strange accident, even I do believe it was his intention to shoot at the vehicle, that bullet went straight into Desmond's head. The reason why I feel like this father should get no empathy is because what did I just tell you in this whole story? Did I not just tell you that they believed that their daughter was in that car? First of all, if your daughter says that she's being abused by her boyfriend and you can get the boyfriend to deliver the daughter to you at a gas station, why didn't you call the cops? So that makes me think that the father had the intention to probably murder the boyfriend. Now, as bad as this boyfriend may be, that is not the father's purview to do that. It is his purview to call the police and have the criminal justice system deal with that son, with that boyfriend. So number one, they actually agreed upon a drop-off point, and that boyfriend agreed to it, and he showed up. He's right there. He's right there. They didn't call the cops. There's no cops that's meeting the boyfriend there along with the daughter. All right, let's keep moving. They want to handle it internally. All right, I get that. They're adults. They could do whatever they want. But if you know that your daughter is in the car, why would you shoot at the car? He could have just as well, if it was his daughter in the car and it was that abusive boyfriend, he could have just as well missed and killed his own daughter. Am I right or wrong? So either way, this father's conduct was reckless. If his daughter was in the car, he not only endangered the life of his daughter, but he also endangered the life of the abusive boyfriend. But she wasn't in the car. So he ended up murdering an innocent person and endangering the life of an innocent woman that is not related to him. He should spend the rest of his life in prison because his actions weren't even reasonable. His actions weren't even reasonable considering the circumstance. Let's keep going.
Mistakes him for his daughter's kidnapper. Johnathan Mata is charged with murder after surveillance video showed him firing the bullets that killed 24-year-old Desmond Butler. It happened on Christmas Day near a gas station on the West Beltway South.
Now, where do you guys see what happens after the shooting? Wait, I'm gonna let you guys listen to what happens after the shooting, but I will tell you that the boyfriend, the abusive boyfriend, and the daughter, they're still in the car. They witnessed this. The boyfriend then is like, oh my God, your pops was actually trying to kill me. He's shooting at that car thinking it's me. He drives off with the daughter. The father and the mother doesn't even know that they were right next to their daughter and this abusive boyfriend. He drives off and continues to abuse her because of what he saw the father do. Isn't that crazy? He saw the father murder somebody else in front of his very eyes. So he drove off with the daughter, the same daughter that the father was trying to protect. He drove off with her to parts unknown and continued to abuse her. He ended up getting arrested later. She ended up being found later with injuries because of that boyfriend. So nothing got accomplished but murder. But anyway, let's keep going because I want you guys to hear just how disgusting and callous these two people are. They're not good people. That's probably why they're raising a daughter that's in a situation like that. She's too young to be in a situation like that. She probably grew up watching daddy do these kind of things to mommy, and she thought it was normal till she couldn't take it anymore. But I don't have no evidence of that. I'm just surmising that. But wait till you see how diabolical these two people are. Listen to this.
APRC2 News reporter Corley Peel joins us live from where the tragedy happened with reaction from Butler's family and Mata's attorney.
Mind you, this happened on Christmas Day. This is how the Butler family had to bring in Christmas. When the rest of us was opening up presents, my kids was opening up their bikes and their Nintendo Switches and all that good stuff. This family was hearing that their son and brother got shot in his head. But let's keep going. I'm sorry.
Corley.
Keith, Desmond Butler's family is devastated. They all live in Georgia, and they say Butler has been living here in Houston the past couple of years, pursuing a career with Amazon. They say all of that changed after he was shot and killed at this gas station by a man who thought he was someone else. Desmond Butler, known to his family as a leader and respectful.
He was resilient, and he lived life with no regrets.
His sister, Desmond Butler, told me over the phone that their family got the devastating news about her baby brother's death on Christmas Day.
A nice family. Nice family. This is a nice family, and he was a nice young man. He was making his own way in life. He didn't make the mistakes that these people made. He wasn't abusive to the woman that was in the car. He wasn't a piece of ish. He didn't make none of those choices. He chose to go to work. He chose to set off on his own. He chose to build his own life. He chose to be a responsible adult, and it's all snuffed out because a bunch of ignorant and stupid people. Point blank, period. Let's keep going.
We were all asleep, and we got the call in the middle of the night, and we were devastated. Like, we couldn't believe it.
Records showed this was a case of mistaken identity. Surveillance captures the moment police say Johnathan Mata shot at Butler's car at this gas station. In the video, you see Mata's wife approaching Butler's car. She runs after him as he drives away. Mata seen walking as Butler turns out of the gas station. He points his gun, firing twice, striking Butler in the head and back before Butler crashes into a light pole. Court documents say a girl in Butler's passenger seat told police Mata drove up.
Listen to this. Pay attention to this. To me, this is the most important part of this story. This, to me, separates a manslaughter charge from a murder charge, in my opinion. I don't know what these Houston... Let me tell you guys something. This is why I tell you guys, stop being partisan. That's why we try and stay away from politics on this channel. Because it doesn't matter if you're left or right, both sides get it wrong. Texas is a conservative state, yet they are soft on crime when it comes to bail. You murder somebody and they let you out for a few $1,000s. It happens every single day in Houston. You could murder somebody and they'll give you $50,000 bail, $20,000 bail, and understand in America, that number, you only have to put up $10,000 worth of it. So if it's a $50,000, 10%, I said 10,000, 10%. So if it's a $50,000 bill, you only got to put up $5,000. You could go to a bail bondsman and put up collateral. You don't even have to put up cash. If you don't have the money, if you got a watch, if you got a car, if you got anything of value, some gold, a family heirloom, a Michael Jordan baseball, he played baseball too. Yeah, baseball, basketball card. You could walk out of prison. So this man slaughters this kid, this young man, and he gets a $50,000 bond. Now check out what he says. He drives up to the car. Desmond is dead. Brains all over the car. Bullet holes in his back. His girlfriend or female friend is just got into an accident. She's stunned. She's panicking. She sees her friend or her boyfriend. We don't know what their status is, but we know they were at least cool. Slaughtered right next to her. Listen to what this man, Johnathan Ross Mata, says to her.
Drove up, opened one drove up. Butler's passenger seat told police Mata drove up, opened one of the doors, looked inside, saying, "Oh, we were looking for our kidnapped daughter. I'm sorry, we will call 911.
Oh, we were looking for our kidnapped daughter. I'm sorry, we will call 911. Desmond is not suffering. He's gone. You could clearly see that he's gone. You see the blood everywhere. You see this woman who's injured from a car accident. You open the door. You say, oh, we were looking for our kidnapped daughter. You realize now that you had it wrong. You realize now that that's not the car that your daughter was in. You realize that this woman that's looking at you, whose life you put on the line, which means he should be charged with attempted murder on this woman as well, is not your daughter. And that's all you have to say. I'm sorry, we'll call 911. Do you think they called 911, ladies and gentlemen? Do you think they stayed on the scene and they explained, listen, we thought this was a kidnap. This would be manslaughter for me. I would be okay with manslaughter. I would be okay with him getting 5 years in prison if he stayed on the scene and explained the misunderstanding. People make stupid decisions. It is what it is. You still got to pay, but if your heart was not in a position or a space that you wanted to just commit wanton murder, I will forgive you. Society will forgive you and we'll just give you a slap on the wrist. But that's not what they did. They never called 911 and they fled the scene. Let's keep going.
Before driving away, records show Mata confessed he was the shooter in the video and mistook Butler for his daughter's boyfriend. Mata's attorney, William Van Buren, says Mata's 19-year-old daughter called her parents, asking to be picked up after her boyfriend assaulted her.
He agreed to bring the daughter to...
And listen, I want you guys to understand, you take everything that this man says with a grain of salt. You might as well assume he's lying. He's an attorney and he's protected. He can lie because ethically, he's not going to say that. It's not that he's lying. He's telling the story of the defendant. His job is to be a spokesperson of the defendant. So people say lawyers lie. They don't lie. They tell you what the defendant wants to tell you. They don't lie. Prosecutors can't lie. Prosecutors have to speak on the facts. If not, they'll get disbarred. They'll get disciplined. Defense attorneys can't lie either. That's why a lot of defense attorneys tell you they can't represent somebody who they know to be guilty. They can. So if you go to your defense attorney and they're ethical and you say, listen, I did it. They say, okay, well, let's work out a deal for you. They can't put you on the stand and try and manipulate a story that says you didn't do it if they know that you did it. That would be unethical. So if you never tell your defense attorney, if you say, no, I'm innocent, then they have to push forward your story. You said you're innocent. They got to defend you and say you're innocent. What he is doing right now is simply telling us the narrative that the defendant has thought up with his wife and his daughter so that he doesn't go to jail, or it mitigates him going to jail. This is not the truth to me. In my opinion, this is not the truth. So now listen to what the defendant wants us to hear. Listen to what Johnathan Mata wants us to hear. It's hard to search about this dude because Johnathan Ross is the guy who shot the lady in Minneapolis, the ICE agent. So every time you search up Johnathan Mata, you get a bunch of stuff about Johnathan Ross, who's the Minneapolis ICE agent who was in that situation. So I just throw that out there because I was so frustrated trying to get the information on this case, but it keeps getting intertwined and mixed up with the Minneapolis case. But anyway, we're hearing what Johnathan Mata wants us to hear. Let's listen to it. Talk to us, Johnathan.
Told them to pull over. They did pull over into a gas station. They knew he was right there. He, in fact, was on the phone and said, I'm pulling in. I'm about to pull in. It was at that time that this vehicle pulls into the gas station.
He says the wife looked into the car, thinking she saw her daughter in the passenger seat. Van Buren says Butler also resembles the boyfriend. Why would he shoot the car if he thought his daughter was in that car?
Boom. I didn't even see this particular interview. I saw a different one. In the other interview, they did not ask this question. This is the question of the century. This is a reporter. These are the reporters that we should have on these streets. Instead, we have one-sided reporters depending on what political ideology they believe. We need people who try to get to the truth. This is a question that gets to the truth. Let's hear it one more time and let's listen to the answer. Why would you shoot in the car if you thought your daughter was in the freaking car? Let's listen to it.
Car if he thought his daughter was in that car.
As the father of four, I put myself in his shoes. He was not shooting into the car. His attempts were to shoot at the tires. He was trying to...
That's a lie. Like I said, he's basically defending his client. He's doing his job. If you know you're not a marksman, this car was not even close to them. The young man drove off. We saw it with our own eyes. Why would you take that gamble? Wouldn't it be more prudent for you to get in your car and follow the car and call 911? His car was there. The lights was on. We saw when he come out the car, he left his doors open and his car was still with the power and the engine on. There's nothing that should have stopped him from getting in his car, following behind that car and calling 911 and explaining them the situation. I, as a father of three, so I mean, I have four like this the lawyer who likes to procreate. Good for you, brother. As a father of three, I would never do that. I would never. And I got guns up the wazoo. I got as many guns as you need. We got a whole military down here. I already divvied out who gets what when the aliens come. My son is going to reload us. My oldest daughter, she's afraid of guns, so she's not going to get one. My youngest daughter, she's going to get one, and mommy's going to get one, and we're going to defend the house from the aliens. I'm telling you, my son is just going to do the reloading. Aki's like, stop. I'm telling you guys the truth. I'm dead serious about these aliens, man. You guys think I'm playing. I'm dead serious about these aliens. They are coming. But whatever. We're going to leave that for a different show. What father would take that risk, that gamble? What father would take that risk and gamble if a bullet skipped off the concrete and flew through a window and could kill your daughter? Why would you take that risk and gamble? The call you got is that my boyfriend is abusing me. That's a very serious call. But it's not my boyfriend is killing me. Now, if you're saying my boyfriend is killing me, he has a knife or a gun, then it's like, well, I got to take this calculated gamble, because if I shoot and I hit him, I save her life. If I shoot and I don't, then she probably dies anyway. I would never want to be in that position anyway. That's why you call the cops. But that wasn't the call. The call was my boyfriend is abusing me, and the boyfriend said, I agree to bring your daughter to you. Why would you take that shot? I just don't believe this story. I think he was shooting to kill. Maybe he's a good marksman. I don't know. But he was shooting to kill. He knew what he was doing. Let's keep going.
If he could harness his emotions at the time, then certainly I think he would have done it a different way.
You just made an assumption and you moved off of emotions. So with your emotions, you should be charged accordingly.
Amen.
Destiny holding on to the memories of her only sibling as her family hopes for justice. Johnathan Mata's attorney says that his daughter was later found injured and her boyfriend was arrested. He says Mata is remorseful for shooting Butler. He is currently being held in the Harris County Jail on a $50,000 bond.
So now he's out and he's not remorseful. And we're going to read more into this because I don't think this guy's remorseful at all. Because when you open a door and you see somebody dying, you don't even help them. You say, oh, I thought it was my missing daughter. We'll call the ambulance, peace, and then you leave. Nah. And then the police never found him. He turned himself in with his attorney weeks later. Weeks later. That's not a remorseful person. It's not a remorseful person. But let's keep going, though. Unbelievable. Houston Christmas shooting suspect surrenders. Police announced the arrest of 39-year-old Johnathan Mata on Wednesday. Records confirmed he has been charged with murder and posted a $50,000 bond. Why would you give a murderer a $50,000 bond? I have no idea. Hold on. Wifey's texting me real quick. Okay. Okay, cool. My son wanted to take the school bus home. Usually I'll pick him up from school. He wanted to take the school bus home. And his grandmother's like, I'll pick him up. So I guess he wants to hang out with his grandmother. Okay, cool. All right, we can do more shows here. More shows here, people. I'm going to do a couple shows today. So make sure that your notifications are set to all because we're going to be dropping a few shows today. Hope you guys enjoy and hope you guys hang out with me. The backstory, police say the shooting happened at about 1 a.m. on December 25th along West Sam Houston Parkway near Bel Air Boulevard. Authorities at the crime scene said there was an altercation at a gas station on Bel Air and the victim was able to drive away, but he was shot and eventually struck a light pole in a nearby parking lot. There was no altercation, ladies and gentlemen. They never got out their car. They drove into the gas station. What they believed some crazy lady was pulling on their door. They drove away. And the father, this man right here, was built like a box, shot in the car and killed him. Let's keep going. Victim has since been identified as 25-year-old Desmond Butler. Police say he was taken to a hospital but was later pronounced deceased. Surveillance video shows Butler's Honda Pilot driving past the suspect's GMC Acadia at a gas station along Bel Air. As Butler drove past, a woman is seen getting out of the GMC, chasing his vehicle and trying to open one of the car doors. Now, also know that Houston is known for carjacking. They got a big carjacking problem out there. So it's not unreasonable for Desmond to believe that somebody was trying to carjack him as well. Let's keep going. All right. The footage shows a man coming from the GMC and firing a gun, claims a mistaken identity. Dig deeper. Court records show Mata, his wife, and their attorney came to a police station and Mata confessed to the shooting. In the announcement of Mata's arrest, police say he and Butler did not know each other. According to documents, Mata told police that his daughter called him at 12:30 a.m. on Christmas Day, saying he has been assaulted by her boyfriend. Mata and his wife were at the Belia gas station to meet their daughter, who was supposed to be dropped off by her boyfriend. Mata claimed a vehicle pulled into a gas station with a female passenger and a driver who looked like his daughter's boyfriend. I want to see what this daughter's boyfriend looks like. Could somebody find out? Somebody find out what this daughter's boyfriend looked like. He's got to have a booking photo or something. Send that to me because we want to see if that has any merit in his story. We got to figure out who this daughter is. We don't want to dox her or anything like that. She's a victim of domestic violence, but we want to know who her boyfriend is, who allegedly was arrested. The moderators dropped the email and the link down in the chat, so make sure that you email me who this guy is so we can get his booking photo and we can see if he looks like Desmond. Let's keep going. He and his wife thought their daughter was in the vehicle, so when it drove past them, Mata's wife got out and ran after the vehicle. Mata reportedly admitted to shooting at the vehicle as it left the gas station, then saw it crash into a light pole. The couple then opened the door of the vehicle, saw their daughter wasn't inside, and went home. Just went home. Documents say Mata didn't realize that he shot Butler, and he didn't call 911 out of fear. So when you open the door, Desmond was like, yo, what's up, man? You shot out my tires and I crashed. Can I get your insurance? He said he didn't. He opens the door, so he got a clear view of both occupants in the car. And he's saying he didn't know that he shot Desmond, even though Desmond was dead. We're supposed to believe that nonsense. Because when he opened the door, Desmond was having a whole conversation with trying to exchange insurance information with him. Unbelievable. Let's keep going. Oh, boy. Documents say that Mata didn't realize that he shot Butler and he didn't call 911 out of fear. Yeah, right. We don't believe it. Allegedly, the girl who was in Butler's car told police that the shooter opened the door and said something to the effect of, oh, we were looking for our kidnapped daughter. I'm sorry. We will call 911. Now, at the time that this statement was given by the witness / victim, I think she's more of a victim than a witness because she was in the car when 2 bullets went through that car, resulted in the death of the driver and a car crash. At the time this statement was given, they didn't know this whole story of the abusive boyfriend and all that good stuff. They didn't know. They didn't even know who shot at them. They had no idea. I don't know how it took so long for the police to find these folks. Like, did they not get the license plate? I'm wondering. I mean, there's video surveillance inside of the gas station. Why didn't the police get the license plate that they went to the Matas? But for whatever reason, the Matas went to them after they had secured their attorney. After they got all their affairs in order, liquidated some of their assets so they could afford an attorney, liquidate assets so they could afford the bond, because everybody in Houston knows that they're going to get a low bond. So if you in Houston and you murder somebody, just have around $10,000 in your pocket and you can get out. After they were sure that they had all their affairs in order, they then turned themselves in only for him to be released a day later. They enjoyed their Christmas, the rest of their Christmas. They enjoyed their New Year's. They partied like rock stars. Then they showed up at the police station, got a piece of paper that says you're charged, and then they went back home. Unbelievable. Let's keep going. Allegedly, the girl who was in Butler's car told police that the shooter opened the door and said something to the effect of, oh, we were looking for our kidnapped daughter. I'm sorry. We will call 911. They never called 911. Let's keep going to the next one. Unbelievable, man. This father has to do life in prison, in my opinion. Or at the very least, he has to give the time. Listen, maybe not life in prison. I don't want to do that because we know who needs life in prison. I want to be fair. Let's not talk out of emotion. Let's talk out of logic. Obviously, he did not shoot that young man, Desmond, that day, Desmond Butler, because he wanted to hurt. a random person that day. He was out there for a reason. He was out there because his daughter said that she was being abused by her boyfriend. He was there to save his daughter. That in itself is a noble thing. But unfortunately, what came along with him is ignorance and stupidity. I believe justice would be if he does the same amount of time of the life that he stole. So I believe Desmond was like 27 years old or something like that. At the very least, he owes that time. At the very least, he needs to do every single year that Desmond lived up until the day that Desmond died because he killed him. That's what he needs to do in prison. To me, that would be justice. Anyway, let's keep going.
Also new tonight, a man is out on bond on a murder charge in the shooting death of a 25-year-old man on Christmas Day.
And tonight we are learning this was a case of mistaken identity. We showed the video last week as police were trying to find the gunman who opened fire at a gas station right there off the Beltway near Bel Air Boulevard.
Maria Aguilera joins us now with how the victim's family is reacting to this tragedy. Maria.
Yeah, Len and Mia, as you can imagine, the family is devastated. Now, newly filed court documents give insight into what happened moments after the shooting and how police say the suspect claims he mistakenly thought his daughter was being kidnapped. Just after 1 a.m. on Christmas, surveillance video shows a man firing a weapon at a gas station near Bel Air in the Beltway. Moments.
So hold on here. Like, this is his car. That's Johnathan Mata's car. When this car pulls out, this video looks pretty good. I'm surprised that they weren't able to pull a license plate off of this car, or at the very least, put the description of this car inside of a database and start to kind of like whittle down who the possible owners of this car would be in the general Houston area, because that's what we do. Even if we don't have a plate, we can say, all right, it's Acadia, it's all black, it looks like it's got this type of trim, because most people, how they get their cars from the dealership is how they get their cars. So if it's an all blacked out version, usually they got that all blacked out version from the dealership and modified it just a bit. That may not always be the case, but most of the time it's the case. So now you can start whittling it down, all right? Hispanic males who own this, this type of vehicle. So I'm surprised that they weren't able to get a hit on this car long before the Matas decided they wanted to turn themselves in. Let's keep going.
Earlier, the video shows a black GMC parked at a pump, an SUV driving past, and a woman getting out chasing after the SUV. The SUV pulls away, then a man steps out of the GMC and opens fire. Houston police say the driver of the SUV was shot and crashed into a pole. He died at the hospital. He was identified as...
All right, real quick, guys. I haven't asked you guys all show, and so of course people have forgotten. Please hit the like button, support the channel. We need those likes so we can get into the algorithm. When we cover these less popular stories, we don't get as much viewership because guess what? People on YouTube are fickle. They only want to watch what they're interested in. People want to hear about David. They want to hear about some of the high profile stories that we cover. But these stories are important too. This young man's family is fighting for justice in a city that's known to be light on murderers. This is a city that's known to be very lenient on people that take other people's lives. So it's important that we bring awareness to this so that pressure is put on those local officials to do right by that family and give justice to the Butler family. So that's why we're here talking about it. Believe me, I could have covered anything. I could talk about Beyonce and get 100,000 views. I don't want to do that. I'm not a sellout. I'm here to give a voice to the voiceless. His voice has been silent, and all he did was just go get gas at a gas station. He deserves justice. The only way that we're going to get that is if you hit that like button so that that robot that has no soul called the algorithm can see that the engagement in this show is good and then push it out to a wider audience. That's the only reason why we ask for it. It's not for me. It's not for my ego. It's for the victims, man. It's for these people. Understand. Say this one last time. I've been doing YouTube for over 5 years. I know what to cover to give me views. I specifically don't cover it because it's not what's important. I cover stories like this is because this is my reason to be, to give justice to people. But unfortunately, that's not always a popular thing. Hit the like button. Help me in this mission. Let's keep going.
25-year-old Desmond Butler. Newly filed court documents show the shooter is now charged with murder. In those same documents, police say a passenger.
Hold on here. Oh boy, we got to go get these documents, man. We got to get these documents. Complaint was crashed. The blank that was inside the complainant's told affidavit. The 911 dispatcher responded to HPD units that the shooter pulled up along their vehicle after the crash, and the male got out and opened one of the doors, looked inside the vehicle, and said something to the effect of, "Oh, we were looking for our kidnapped daughter. I'm sorry. We will call 911," and then drove away. The juvenile called 911 to report the incident. So it was a young girl that was in that car. It's crazy. A young girl was in that car. See, I thought it was a girlfriend. I apologize. It was a juvenile in the car that he was driving. So not only did they kill this man, but they endangered a juvenile. It just got worse. That's why it's so important to get the court documents. It was a juvenile in the car with this man whose life was endangered. They could have very well killed a little kid. They could have very well have shot and killed a little kid. It just gets worse. Let's keep going. Wow. So the juvenile, after this female juvenile, we know it's a female, after this female juvenile witnessed Desmond get slaughtered and then become a victim in a car accident because Desmond was killed, the juvenile witnessed the murderer come and say something as callous as, "Oh, I thought you was my kidnapped daughter. Sorry. See you later." That juvenile had to then get composure, pick up her phone, and call 911 for Desmond. Why? Because the adults who made the mistake and killed Desmond did not even do the right thing and stick around and call the cops themselves and stay on scene and say, "Listen, a big mistake was made today. Do what you got to do, your officers and authorities. I'm manning up to the mistake that I made, but at least I want to make sure that this juvenile is okay and that this man gets the help that he needs, if he could get any help at all." No, they ran away. The juvenile had to be the hero now and call 911. This is just diabolical. Let's keep going. Crime scene investigators from the Houston Forensic Science Center arrived to the scene to process and collect evidence, including 2 9mm shell casings that were recovered in the parking lot. Let's keep going. Affiant reviewed the Harris County Institute of Forensic Science autopsy report from complainant, written by Assistant Medical Examiner Dr. Jennifer Ross. Too many Rosses in Houston. I mean, Joseph Ross is the shooter from Minneapolis, the ice guy. Johnathan Ross is the shooter, the ice shooter. Johnathan Ross Mata is this shooter here. And with another J, Jennifer Ross is the assistant medical examiner who examined Desmond's body. What's the odds of that? I'm about to just play can you play a name for the lotto? I'm going to turn them names into numbers. I'm just going to play it in a lotto. Let's keep going. Jennifer Ross, who conducted the autopsy, ruled the manner of death to be homicide and the cause of death to be gunshot wounds of the head and back. Through investigative research and tips, the Hispanic male shooter has been identified as Johnathan Mata. And the female, we got his date of birth. I'm going to take a picture of that because I'm going to be looking this motherfucker up. We're going to find out about you. Oh, I was waiting for that, buddy. Yeah, I got my phone. Ooh, I was finding it hard to get this guy's date of birth, but I got that now. It's public record. Identified as Johnathan Mata, and the female and his wife, they blanked her name out. She should be in there too, because if her dumb hold on, let me get my beeper. If her dumb didn't falsely identify her own daughter, maybe the father wouldn't have shot at the car. So she's partly responsible. Killing this innocent man because you didn't teach your daughter how to love herself. Anyway, let's keep going. I'm sorry. I'm being mean. Don't be mean, Strategic. I'm just frustrated. I hate stupidity, especially when that stupidity ends with somebody losing their life. Let's keep going. After Affiant found that a black 2025 GMC Acadia blank is registered to Johnathan Ross Mata and blank, Affiant observed various images of the vehicle on the scene and noticed that certain markings were consistent with other images found of the vehicle discovered through the Flock camera system, a database commonly used by law enforcement, and Affiant finds to be credible and reliable. So I think they did track the car down, but this dude was on the run. He was on the run. So the police were doing their jobs. He was just on the run until he decided to turn himself in. Let's keep going. Affiant ran Texas driver's license photographs of Mata and blank and found them to look exactly like the Hispanic couple in the videos from 12/25/2025. Affiant observed mugshot photographs from Harris County District Attorney's Office of Mata dated 5/5/2025 and blank dated 1/22/2025, and they appear to be same people shown in the surveillance video from the gas station on 12/25/2025. On Monday, January 12, 2026, I'm going to have to get these documents so I can do a deep dive into them. You hear that, Aki? We're not done with this story. I want to do a deep dive into this one. We're not going to forget Desmond. And Desmond, if your family is watching this, I want you to come on this show and tell us about Desmond. Tell us about Desmond Butler. Tell us about the beautiful person that he is. I want the world to know that Desmond deserves justice. You could come on my show and I'll just shut up, sit there, and let you do your thing. You tell us about Desmond, this young man that was just trying to live his life and got killed over stupidity, dumbness, from people who lack common sense. Let's keep going. It's one thing when the bad guys do it. It's one thing when the murderers and the psychopaths do it. It's another thing when idiots do it. Because this was totally avoidable if mommy and daddy would have simply had common sense and called 911. That's all they had to do. If mommy and daddy would have simply had common sense and their daughter said, "Mommy, daddy, come get me because my boyfriend is beating me up," they said, "Well, where you at?" "Oh, I'm over at X, Y, and Z." "Okay, 911, can you send a patrol car over to X, Y, and Z because my daughter's being abused?" That's all they had to do. Let's keep going. On Monday, January 12, 2026, Johnathan Mata and his wife Blank came to HPD headquarters located at 1200 Travis to provide non-custodial statements to Affiant. Defendant Mata and his wife were accompanied by their retained attorney, William Van Buren, who was present during the statements. Defendant confessed to being a shooter on December 25, 2025. Defendant stated that on the morning of December 25, 2025 at about 12:30 a.m., he and his wife received a call from their Blank daughter, Blank, that she had been assaulted by her boyfriend and she needed her parents to pick her up from her cousin's apartment. Defendant told Affiant that he and his wife drove to the South Station. What? This is getting complicated. So she was at her cousin's apartment. Defendant told Affiant that she had been assaulted by her boyfriend and she needed her parents to pick her up from her cousin's apartment. Defendant told Affiant that he and his wife drove to the Shell station at 9970 Bel Air Boulevard, where they were expecting to meet their daughter, who was supposed to be dropped off by her boyfriend. If you're at your cousin's apartment, why would you have your boyfriend drop you off at the gas station? I think she was setting this boyfriend up. I think she was setting this boyfriend up. Think about it. She made the call to her parents at her cousin's house. Cousin means safety. That's family. Cousin means safety. You don't need to hear that. The cousin's house is safety. That is family. And then, out of nowhere, she's no longer in safety anymore. She's back with her abuser to be dropped off at the Shell gas station. Father comes armed. I think that the boyfriend beat her up. She's at the cousin's house and she's safe. She calls her parents, tells the parents what the boyfriend did to her. Daddy wants retribution. So then she calls the boyfriend and says, "Hey, baby, can you drop me off at a gas station?" He's like, "All right." I'm not saying he's a good guy. I'm just saying he's like, "All right." He then picks her up from safety because the parents could have said, "Stay where you at." Think about it. Everybody, I watch my demographics all the time. I know who watches this show. 99% of the people who watch this show is between 25 and 90 years old. I have a huge audience of people who are 50 and above. My biggest audience is people who are 35 to 55 and a nice size audience of people who's 25 to 35. This is an adult show. We don't have little kids watching the show. And the vast majority of people watching the show are parents. So now I'm talking to my parents. If your daughter calls you up and says, "My boyfriend abused me," you're like, "Well, where you at?" First thing we're going to say, "Where are you?" We want to know if you're safe. You say, "I'm at my cousin's house." Wouldn't your next words be, "Stay where you're at, I'm coming to get you"? That's not what they said. It was like, meet me at the gas station with the boyfriend. I think that father wanted to kill that boyfriend or scare him or beat him, pistol whip him, something. Fight him. Remember, this is Texas. You could carry, everybody has a gun. You go fight the son, the boyfriend gets the best of you. You can pull your gun out, shoot him, say, I stand my ground. It's a perfect way to get away with murder. You could do it in a state like Texas. She was in safety. Big shout out to whoever sent us a coffee. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the coffee. She was in safety, yet somehow she leaves the safety of her cousin's house to then get back in the car with the boyfriend to be driven to the gas station. This is very suspect to me. Let's keep going. Okay. She needed her parents to pick her up from her cousin's apartment. All right, hold on. Let me go back. The defendant stated that on the morning of December 25th, 2025, around 12:30 a.m., he and his wife received a phone call from their blank daughter. What is that blank daughter? Could it be stepdaughter? I don't know. Whatever. Blank, that she had been assaulted by her boyfriend and she needed her parents to pick her up from her cousin's apartment. Defendant told affiant that he and his wife drove to the Shell station at 9970 Bel Air Boulevard, where they were expecting to meet their daughter, who was supposed to be dropped off by her boyfriend. Defendant stated that a vehicle pulled into the gas station occupied by a black male driver who looked just like, did he look just like the boyfriend because he's black? I don't know. I'm not making a race there. I'm asking a question. All right, but let's keep going. Could be adopted. I don't know. Let's keep going. Occupied by a black male driver who looked just like blank boyfriend and a female passenger. Defendant stated he thought his daughter was in the vehicle, which was driven by the complainant, and that as the vehicle drove past him, his wife got out and began chasing it on foot. Defendant said that the vehicle left the parking lot and he fired 2 rounds from his firearm at the vehicle trying to get it to stop, and then saw that it crashed in an adjacent parking lot. Defendant and his wife pulled up. Let me see if I could get the full document. I think they brought it in. Boom.
In those same documents.
Oh, stop. All right, perfect. We got it. Let's get this subtitle off. Get it out of my way. Okay, well, put it down here. Okay, defendant and his wife pulled up to the crashed vehicle and opened the door to see if their daughter was inside. But when she was not, they returned home. Notice they left out the part. This is their statement now. Notice he left out the part where he actually talks about, oh, I thought my daughter was in here. We'll call 911. He left that part out. Said they opened the door, they saw that the daughter wasn't there, and they left. To me, that's worse than a statement. To me, that's more callous and cold-hearted. He should have said that. He said, oh, I told her that I thought my daughter was in there, and I told her I was going to call 911, but I didn't. He didn't say that. He left that out. He made himself look like a cold-hearted murderer, that they opened the door, saw that it wasn't the daughter in there, and they just left. Defendant said that he did not realize that they had shot Butler and did not call 911 because he was scared. You wasn't scared to shoot the gun, but you scared of the outcome. Affiant reviewed the case with ADA Nathan Moss, who accepted the charges of murder. Affiant knows that a firearm or pistol can be a deadly weapon capable of causing death. Wow. Wow. And some of you already know it. You're waiting. Your fingers are itching. You can't wait to type in the comment section, but he was trying to protect his daughter. He was trying to protect his daughter. You can't wait to diminish the life of Desmond Butler to justify this father's actions. This was pure, unadulterated stupidity. That's what it was. Let's keep going.
Documents. Police say a passenger in Butler's vehicle told officers the shooter drove up after the crash, opened the door, looked inside, said he was looking for his kidnapped daughter.
And I want you guys to riddle me this. They never stopped. They never really stopped. Like, he drove around and he stopped for like a second and kept driving. And then the wife ran up to the car while it was driving and tried to pull on the door. It's not even like they stopped and these folks got a good look. It could have been anybody in that car. It's one thing if the car was parked for a while and they're looking from their car and they think that that's them in the car and they were mulling over. Is it them? Nah, I think it's them. No, the car was moving pretty much the entire time. That could have been anybody. So that means anybody who is with two occupants in the car, male and female, which is pretty much how the world is set up, right? The majority of the world, people pair up male and female. The majority of the world. We're not talking about the small population of people who might be in there with a friend or the small population of people who might not be attracted to the opposite sex. The majority of people usually are paired up with male and female. Just so happened that these people weren't lovers. It was him driving a minor child, which just makes it even worse because a child almost got killed. But it could have been anybody in the world that these people shot. Anybody in the world. It was so reckless. Let's keep going.
Apologized and said he would call 911. Court records say that call never came. Instead, police say on Monday, almost 3 weeks after the shooting, Johnathan Mata, his wife, and their attorney went to HPD headquarters, where Mata confessed to firing the shots. According to court records, Mata told investigators he thought his daughter was inside Butler's vehicle after his daughter reportedly said she was assaulted by her boyfriend. Mata told investigators he fired 2 shots to try to stop the vehicle. He drove up to it and said he did not realize he shot Butler, left the scene, and did not call 911, saying he was scared. For Butler's family, the grief remained.
We're devastated. We just want answers on why him. My brother was a light of joy.
I spoke with Butler's older sister, who tells me they're from Georgia.
Right.
He moved to Houston in 2023 to work at Amazon, and he became a manager.
Somebody reach out to that sister. You tell her Strategic Eyes has her back. I got you, sister. Come on this channel and let's talk about him. I don't care if we get 1 million views or 2 views. His memory, his legacy will be remembered on this channel. This is messed up, man.
We're keeping each other tight and close and keeping his memories alive.
She says Desmond had no plans that Christmas Day. Mata was booked into the Harris County jail and is out on a $50,000.
Look at this dude, 40-something years old, walking with his pants sagging below his butt. That tells you everything you need to know about this grown man. He's a thug. Yeah, I said it. No grown man should be walking around with his pants sagging below his butt. I'm from Harlem, where this stuff started. This started in Harlem, started in New York City. And you will never see me walking around with my pants falling below my butt because I have dignity and class about me. That tells you everything you need to know about this dude. Walking around like he's 19 years old. And that's why he has the judgment of a 19-year-old shooting in a moving car when he thought his daughter was in that car. He thought his daughter was in the car, and he's still saying, oh, it's justified. I thought my daughter was in there, so I shot in the car. I shot in the car that I thought my daughter was in. What an idiot. You're a dummy, bro. What a dummy, man. Big shout out to Sam in Texas with 499 Super Chat says, let's keep going. Thank you for covering this, Strategic. I appreciate it. It's my pleasure. Thank you for watching. Big shout out to Tatum, who celebrated 3 months as a recruit member. Appreciate you for supporting the channel. You are amazing. Let's keep going.
Bond. In Houston, Maria Aguilera, KHOU 11 News.
My word. My word. Let's keep going. Texas dad fatally shoots innocent Amazon manager. This kid wasn't even like, when I said man, this was a manager, bro. He's a smart kid. He's a manager in Amazon. He's making his money. He was on his way. He was a young dude that already made his way into management. You think they just give that away in these large corporations? These corporations are about profit. They're about money. They don't promote you unless you're an asset to their company. Here's a young black man who's actually doing it, and you snuff his light out for no freaking reason. You couldn't even get it right. I don't like woman beaters. I'm not saying that the person who's beating his wife, his daughter, deserved to die. Absolutely not. But damn, you could at least got it right, bro. I wouldn't even have covered the story. If it was the actual woman beater that he shot, I wouldn't cover this story. It's sad. His family would have a right to demand for justice because the crime is not proportional with the punishment, but I wouldn't cover it because I don't like woman beaters. But you didn't even get it right. You killed the person your daughter was supposed to be with. You killed the person your daughter would have actually been happy with and would have treated her with the dignity and respect that she deserved. Unbelievable. Let's keep going. A Texas father allegedly gunned down an innocent Amazon manager who was spending Christmas away from his family after mistaking him for his daughter's kidnapper. Johnathan Mata, and guess what? That whole kidnapping story is bullcrap because we just figured it out in the charging documents. You can't be safe in your cousin's house and then your parents is like, okay, tell your boyfriend to come drop you off in the gas station so we can murk him. That's not a kidnapping. That's a setup. That is not a kidnapping. That's a setup. But let's keep going. Johnathan Mata, 39, was captured aiming his pistol at a fleeing SUV outside a Shell gas station in Houston and unloading shots, killing 25-year-old Desmond Butler at around 1 a.m. December 25th, according to footage obtained by KO11. The tragic chain of events began when Mata and his wife received a frantic call from their 19-year-old daughter who said she had been attacked by her boyfriend. Let's see here. This is the actual footage. Let's do it. All right, so I had it wrong. This was the Mata's car. It wasn't the kidnapper's, fake kidnapper's car. My apologies on that. So this is the Mata's car right here. And then they pull around. They don't even stop. They don't even stop. They just pull around and then they start driving and look what happens. Let's go back. So now we know that's the Mata's car. Makes it even worse. There you go. They pull in. Look how quickly that car drives by. Oh my God, look how quickly the car drives by. How were they supposed to know that that was even their daughter in that car? Look how quickly Desmond Butler drives past them. And then the wife, without thinking 2 seconds, probably that's the problem, she wasn't thinking, hops out her car and chases after their car. Let's do that one more time.
Does that make sense?
Wow. They don't even stop. Wow. He drives right by. He sees this lady chasing after. He's like, yo, I'm getting out of here. I don't know what's wrong with that lady. And then this guy shoots him. He gets out the car. And he shoots. He shoots twice, but we only see once. Why? That just doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. I wish I had the unedited video. I hate when they edit it the way they want us to see it. I don't want your intern who just came out of graphic school to tell me what I need to see, what's important. I wish the news would just release this stuff in its raw form, or you could release both versions. Remember, it is our constitutional right to know. The Constitution gives us the freedom of press because the founding fathers of this great country wanted us to be in the know, wanted us to know what's going on in our government and in our culture and our society. So why not just give us the information so that we can process it for ourselves? Give us both versions. Give us your entertainment version where you're reporting the news, because believe it or not, it's entertainment. It's a form of entertainment. But also give us the raw information for us to draw our own conclusions as well. But anyway, let's keep going. This is the idiot. The idiot. That's the idiot. The dumbest dad on the planet. Johnathan Mata was arrested for shooting and killing someone he mistakenly thought had kidnapped his 19-year-old daughter. This guy got out just a few hours after murdering somebody's child. Initially, he wanted to protect his child. Instead, he murdered somebody's child. And he was out of jail in just a few hours after doing that. Let's keep going. She initially asked to be picked up from her cousin's apartment. She originally asked to be picked up from her cousin's apartment. But about a half an hour later, Mata and his wife believed she would instead be dropped off at the gas station by her boyfriend. Why would they believe that? Moments after the frantic parents arrived at Giselle Station, a vehicle that had been driven by a man who resembled their daughter's boyfriend and a woman riding in the passenger seat pulled into the lot, according to the criminal complaint obtained by Law and Crime. Defendant stated that he thought his daughter was in a vehicle which was driven by Butler, and that as the vehicle drove past him, his wife got out and began chasing it on foot, the complaint stated. Surveillance video showed Butler driving his gray Honda Pilot into the gas station lot and passing the modest black GMC Acadia at the pump, when the wife suddenly hopped out and ran after the vehicle, reaching for the rear passenger door. Butler, seemingly unaware of what was happening, then accelerated out of the parking lot and onto an access road of the San Houston Parkway. I believe this version. Remember, these young people be driving mad fast. I watched my daughter driving. We all went to the movies, and we're going to the movies tonight. My kids like going to the movies, so we go to the movies a lot, and I don't care what they want to see. I just want to be with them. Especially now that my baby just turned 18, my oldest turned 18. And in a few months, she's going to leave. And every time I think about it, I feel like I really want to freaking cry. And I don't know what it is, because since I turned like 41, I've been a little bit more emotional than I've been in my entire life. I guess I'm going through menopause. Where's it at?
Oh, my God.
I'm going through menopause, man. I be getting emotional sometimes. So when they want to go hang out, I'm like, where we going? I don't even ask questions. It's like, what, you want to go see the little Princess Pony movie? All right, let's go see that. I'll try not to fall asleep, but at least I'm there with you guys. But she's always fashionably late. And now that she got her own car, she's Miss Fancy and all that good stuff, she want to, come on, let's go. The movie starts at 8 o'clock. I'll meet you there at the theater. We can never go in the same car. I'll meet you there in the theater. Long story short, we leave the theater, the movie's over, we leave at the same time, we're driving. I got her sister and her brother in my car. She's in her own car. I'm texting her like, why are you driving so fast for? Because these young people drive super fast. I'm starting to believe that Desmond didn't even know that they was even chasing after him. Because the way he swung out of that, one would think like he knew that she was trying to get in his car. And that's why he was driving fast. But these young people just drive fast. Look how fast he's driving. Look at this. That's how these young people drive. Look at it. Nah, we're not getting gas. We out of here. I think he was just driving fast. He didn't even know that this crazy lady was chasing after him. Aki snitching. Stop snitching. What's wrong with you? She said, don't text and drive. Well, at least I ain't shooting at people in random cars. I got a gun on me every day, and I ain't shooting at people that I think could kidnap my daughter and killing them. I'd rather send a text than do that. How about that, Aki? Anyway, let's keep going. Big shout out to Ravicious with 5 gift memberships, man. It's very, very, very gracious of you. And today was payday. I just checked. I was like, oh, shit, payday. I'm going to donate 5 gift memberships too. Give me a second, guys, because I can't do it on the YouTube on my screen. I got to do it on my phone. So let's do that. Stopping the show for 2 seconds so I can give you guys 5 gift memberships. So in appreciation of Ravicious and her generosity, showing love to the channel, I'm going to go ahead and donate 5 gift memberships myself. And big shout out to FloJo TV with a $5 super chat as well. Thank you so much, FloJo, for your continued support of our mission, man. Freaking mission to give a voice to the voiceless. Bam. 5 free gift memberships coming into the chat. Everybody who got one from Ravicious, make sure you thank her and her generosity. You don't have to thank me because I'm the owner of the show. But we appreciate you. Make sure you thank Ravicious because she is generous. Thank you. Now let's keep going. Butler, seemingly unaware of what was happening, then accelerated out of the parking lot and onto an access road of the Sam Houston Parkway. The footage cuts back to the GMC where Mata is seen walking toward the fleeing Honda while armed with a pistol. Mata allegedly opened fire on the Honda Pilot, striking Butler, who lost control of the vehicle and crashed into a pole. Mata and his wife drove to the crash site and pulled up pulled open Butler's passenger door after realizing he was not their daughter's boyfriend, according to the complainant. The family looked inside the vehicle and said something to the effect of, "Oh, we were looking for our kidnapped daughter. I'm sorry. We will call 911," and then drove away, the complainant said. What a dummy. By the time the first responders arrived, the couple had left the scene, and Butler was rushed to a local hospital where he died from his injuries. God rest his beautiful soul. Big shout out to Aki, who gave one gift membership. We thank you so much, Aki, for being so kind. Not just a moderator, but also supporting the channel. All right, let's keep going. Mata and his wife showed up at the police headquarters with a lawyer on Monday and claimed the deadly shooting stemmed from a kidnapping misunderstanding. A kidnapping misunderstanding. Wow. That's special. That's rich. A kidnapping misunderstanding. Mata told investigators he fired 2 shots at the vehicle in an attempt to stop it, then watched it crash before he left the scene without calling for help, according to the complaint. Mata is charged with murder, turned himself in on Wednesday. He posted a $50,000 bond and is scheduled to appear in court February 25th. Law and Crime reported. We will be watching that if it's televised. Butler's sister, Destiny, told KHOU 11 that their family, who lives in Georgia, are devastated by his death. She said her brother moved to Houston in 2023 to work at Amazon, later becoming a manager, and had no plans that Christmas Day. We just want Aunt's answers on why. My brother was a light of joy, she said. He looked like a really nice guy. He looked like a really nice guy. This is it. This is all we got. This one is a repeat. I'm not going to read it. Guys, this was a tragedy. And I hope this family gets justice. And this one really pissed me off. It did, because of stupidity. If you are in this situation, call 911. That's all you got to do. Call 911. Let the police do the work. Let the police do the work. That's it. Let the police do the work. Anyway, guys, we dropped new content on the Patreon, and we even have new content on the members. Please make sure that you join our membership and our Patreon, support the channel. The membership has exclusive live streams that never make it to the main show. So if you like the live streams that we do here, you get a much more different and just a different feel of a live stream on the membership. So consider becoming a member of True Crime Strategic. The Patreon is raw. You get a raw form of Strategic on the Patreon. Would definitely encourage you to join the Patreon. It's well worth the money. We drop content on there on a regular. I think we have hundreds of video on the Patreon. So it's a lot, especially if you just join the Patreon. There's hundreds of videos you could go back to and listen to. It's a raw and real experience. That's what we bring to the Patreon. So consider joining the Patreon and supporting the channel that way as well. Everything we do here on True Crime Strategic is affordable. So consider showing that love. Before we go, though, I definitely want to pump our store. We haven't talked about the True Crime Strategic store in a long time, and I just want to show you guys that real quick. My nose is stuffy. I apologize. So inside of the chat, you will see a link called Linktree, and it's from Nightbot. The Linktree brings you to this page here where you get access to all of the links of the show. So you see here, the first link is our fundraiser. We have to take that out because we're no longer doing that fundraiser. So I'll remove that. If you hit that link, it will not help you because my fundraiser is closed. All right. We bought the graphics card that we needed and we don't need anything else. So we're not asking for anything else. Okay. So I'll remove that later on when I get some time. But the first one you'll see after this is removed is the email. If you have any tips or you have any stories you want me to cover, hit this link and you'll get my email and you'll be able to send me an email. The next link is our merch store. We have 2 different stores. We have our TeePublic, I believe. Anyway, let's say one of these joints. So we go to a merch store. All right, this one is our TeePublic store. Really good store. These are our newest shirts. Check it out. They're really awesome. Right now, they have a big sale. I'm going to order 2 shirts, actually, so I can give 2 shirt giveaways. I give one to my moderator, to Obsidian, because she asked, because I accidentally called you. What did I call you? Gypsy Rose or something like that? I made a mistake and insulted my moderator by calling him somebody else, one of these perps names. So I said, I'm sorry, I give you a t-shirt. So I got to buy one for my moderator and one for the rest of you folks. We'll do a giveaway. So look, we're having a crazy sale right now. $16 for a t-shirt. You cannot beat that. $16 for a Strategic Eyes t-shirt. All right, we got the Let's Keep Going. We got Don't Be a Per Diem Dad, Don't Be a Per Diem Mom. That's from the Madeline Soto case. We got that slogan from. We got the Does That Make Sense, which is probably my favorite slogan on this channel.
Does that make sense?
We got that from the Orange County detective, where every single sentence that she said, she added, does that make sense? And by the way, she was terrible, but it's all good. I got called a sexist for calling her a terrible detective. Whatever, we don't care. So go to our merch store, grab yourself a t-shirt. We love cats here on True Crime Strategic. One of these cats is Aki's cat, Picasso, that passed away. This is Picasso's t-shirt right here. And Picasso's no longer with us. And that caused Aki a great deal of pain and sorrow. So we still miss Picasso, and we're sorry that that happened to you. And rest in peace, Picasso. But we got Picasso here. We also have some other folks who sent us their cats, and we made t-shirts out of them as well. So consider doing that. But we also have another store, and that is our Dashery store. And the cool thing about the Dashery store is that you could customize the same merch. You can customize it on anything. So when in the Dashery store, let's say we go to the Does That Make Sense t-shirt. And specifically in the Dashery store, you can go down and you can now put that on almost anything. So now you have a Does That Make Sense hoodie, socks, hat. This is fire. I'm buying this hat. Especially for the summertime, I will be rocking my Does That Make Sense hat. That's fire. Does That Make Sense kids t-shirt. Look how nice that t-shirt is. Look at that. That's super cute for the little kids. Super duper cute. Look at this one. I love this one for the little kids. Super cute. True Crime and Strategic Eyes. Does that make sense? Right? So consider going over to our store. Everything is affordable. We don't want to get rich off of you. We want you to participate and be a part of the family. So you will notice as you stay with True Crime and Strategic Eyes and you become a part of our family, that every time I offer something, it's to help the show, but it's also to be fair to you guys because I love you guys. All right. You go to other shows, you see a t-shirt that costs $60. $60 t-shirt? Who are you selling that to? I'm selling this to regular people. All right. So always remember that whether it's membership to our Patreon or to our membership, we always make it fair. All right. The lowest tier on our membership is 99 cents. You're rarely going to find that anywhere else on YouTube. So that being said, I think I've done a good job letting you guys know some of the services that we offer and some of the products that we're selling you guys as YouTubers. We'll see you guys on the next one. Let me cue up that outro. Strategic is out of here. Peace.